Now, I've been looking forward to this conversation all weekend, or all day rather. Will it be France or will it be Croatia? One of the nations will lift the World Cup tomorrow evening. Excitement is at fever pitch ahead of the big final, including here in South Africa. Fans are supporting both nations, gearing up for the big showdown. Joining me now, we have a Croatian mother and son, Marita and Ivan Karlovic. Thank you so much for joining us. And to my right, Team France, we've got Alexandre Spezzotto-Simacourbe.
Well done.
Is it?
Well
okay.
Done.
And Laurent Menigault.
Menigault.
Okay, close enough. I'll take it. Thank you so much for coming to join us. Let's start with the fairy tale story of the World Cup. Croatia, a tiny nation who've always been there or thereabouts, a country that none of the big nations normally want to face because you're such a hard team to beat, hard journeymen. What do you think has been behind the success for your team this year, bringing them to their first World Cup final ever?
I think we just need to take it back what was taken away from us in '98.
Oh yes, so for those who don't know, this is a rematch of the semi-final in 1998, which France won and then went on 2-1, you've reminded us, went on to win that final and win the World Cup in your hometown. Ivan, why do you think this team has been successful this time around?
I think people seem to forget it's actually a very good team. Like most of their players play in top leagues around Europe. So, yes, they have probably exceeded expectations, but there's a core quality in this team. And I think just once we got past the quarterfinals, I think it's just now more heart. I mean, we've played a lot of football, a lot more than France.
90 minutes more.
90 minutes more.
Yeah.
And I think the only thing that's keeping us going now is basically heart. Yeah.
Heart and the desire to win.
Determination, yeah.
Now, Alex and Laurent, there's quite a bit of history on the France side to be made tomorrow as well. The big thing for me is that your coach, Didier Deschamps, he could become only the fourth man in history to win. Well, he is the fourth man in history to make it to the final, both as a player and as a coach. Do you think he's been the secret to the success now after all these very dry years for France?
Well, he was part of the 1998 team, you know, and I think he's been loved by the French people, by the country. He's a very humble guy, but I think he has a lot of expertise, and he can definitely lead this team to the final and to the cup.
Laurent, why do you think people were surprised by this France team making it to the final?
Maybe because we have, they didn't know Mbappé, and the youngsters
they do know him now.
And they know him now.
And do you think that was the major reason?
The team make it to the final of the Euro in 2016. So I think we have the main core, and now we have also two beautiful players at the back, Pavard and Hernandez, that are also youngsters.
So the youth seems to have been the big talking point in this World Cup. Let's find out a little bit more about your roots here in South Africa, Marita. You've told me earlier you've been here for 26 years, but it seems the Croatian community is one that really sticks together here.
It's very small, so you do stick with your own. And it's your language, it's your culture, it's all these things that you...
And what led you to end up in South Africa and raise your family here?
Well, it was a war in Croatia when we actually left, me and my ex-husband, and then you made your home. South Africa is my home, but my heart is still Croatia and always will be. That's how we raised our children. And
I was reading up again about Luka Modric, who obviously is the sort of probably the biggest name. And as much as you don't have standout stars, you've got really good players throughout the team. Luka Modric is probably the most famous player. And his story itself is really a reflection of many Croatians of that age, growing up in a war zone. I think I read somewhere that one of his grandparents was killed. Yes. And they went through a lot. He was a refugee. What does his success and the success of the team mean to that generation that's been through so much?
That's not just Modric, Subasic. He comes from mixed marriage, his father. And all those people, they're basically born in that, well, not born, raised in a country that was hurt. This comes now I mean, in the last game, they asked the coach why didn't he make changes, and he says every time I look at my players, they say no, until the last drop of blood and sweat goes on this pitch. Otherwise, we will go in it with everything we got, because this is our chance. And that could be that major thing tomorrow.
Ivan, just very quickly, we need to go to a break. You were born in South Africa,
Yes.
but you obviously were brought up with a real understanding of what your Croatian roots mean to you.
Definitely, yeah. It's not even just about football. It's any sport they play. I'll be watching. I mean, streaming handball against French.
Handball and I think water polo.
Yeah, basketball, anything. I mean, it's whatever they play. Like I'll watch. I'll definitely be there.
And always ready to meet the old foes. We'll find out more about the old foes just after the break. More with our fans after the break.